Well, hello class. I know that some of you guys might not be very excited about the grade that you saw for your quiz, but don't worry. I'm going to let you guys make those up. But before I do, I wanted to kind of walk you through this math problem. So I'm not going to help you out all the way. I am going to change these numbers because I don't want you guys to have the exact answer, okay? But I want to help you out so that way when we do this retake, you guys know what's going on. So thank you for your feedback. There was some confusion. A lot of the confusion was centered around all of these letters that you see right here. So when it's referring to these letter things over here, that is telling you the side. So for example, right here, it's saying that this is from A to E. So it's referring to this whole spot right here. And this one is going from E to D, so it's referring to this spot right here. So really, it's just referring to a portion of that length, okay? So that's important to remember because here in a minute, we're going to be actually able to see what those sides equal. So again, just like with everything else, we need to read slow. And so to help us do that, I want you guys to still practice this whole thing of doing the what I know part, okay? So going through this spot right over here, let's start off. ABCD is a rectangle, okay? So ABCD is a rectangle. And it says that it has, it's 20 by 10. I know your math problem says 18 by 8, but I'm going to change it to 20 by 10, okay? So 20 centimeters, which is referring to this right here, by 10 centimeters, which is referring to that right there, okay? Now, here's where we get to the kind of confusing part. It says that the side AE, which is right here, okay, AE is the same as ED. So these two sides right here are equal, okay? Now, the reason why that's important is because if they're equal, they are cutting this side in half. So that means that if we know what that whole side is, which we do, okay, it's 20, we can take half of that to figure out what those are. So that means that AE is equal to 10, and because they're the same, remember that equal sign means the same, that means that ED is also equal to 10, okay? And then we can do that again because it says AF is the same as FB. So that means this and this are the same, which means they are exactly half of that whole side. So over here, we know what that whole side is. So we can take half of that whole side, which is 5. And now we know that AF equals 5 and FB equals 5. Okay? Now, here's where this is really important. One of those sides that we just mentioned, FB right here, is actually the base of this triangle. So if we were to redraw this triangle, kind of like this, we would know that this side right here is 5 centimeters. So that's why this gets really important. So we know that this is 5. And then just like we talked about last week, when we're referring to the height of a triangle, we're not referring to this long side here. Okay, remember, think of it as like a mountain. Okay, when you're asking how tall is a mountain, you're not talking about this spot right here, right? You're going from ground level, which is like, you draw a little person right here, and it is, however, the ground is to the very peak. So really, we would need to flip this thing on its side to know that if this is the base or if this is the ground, then in order to know how tall that triangle is, I would need to know the height, which is this spot right here. Now here's what's cool. We already know that. If we look right here, this AE side right here and this FB side are giving us the lengths that we need. So this would be 10, that would be 5. Now we also know that the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So now this is really easy. All we really need to do is 1/2 base, which is 5, times height, which is 10. So we always start with our parentheses. Remember that. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or please eat my doggone applesauce. All right, 1/2 times 50. Okay, now when we do 1/2 times 50, we have two ways that we can do this. We can either do 1/2 times 50 over 1, and then we get 50 over 2, and then all this stuff. I wouldn't worry about that. Remember, this is a division problem, so all we really have to do is divide 50 by 2. 2 goes into 5 2 times, which is 4. 2 goes into 10. Oh, whoops. 2 goes into 10 5 times, which is 10. We'd have no remainder, so that means our answer is 25. So the area of that shaded triangle is 25. Now, the numbers are going to be different for you guys when you do this on your quiz retake, but use this as an example, okay? Don't get confused. The rectangle is just there to kind of give you a base, so that way we can figure out all of this stuff right here. Because if we didn't have that triangle, we wouldn't have been able to figure that stuff out. Or sorry, that rectangle, we wouldn't have been able to figure that stuff out. But that's why they put that there, to help us figure out what all of these sides of the triangle are and stuff, okay? So I hope you guys are doing well. Don't fret about your grade. You guys can do that quiz retake that I posted. Watch this video first, and then try that math problem again. And if you get it, I will update your guys' grade. We'll talk to you later.